So I have come to make a couple of things without a kit. Okay, I'm going to make a couple of things with no kit. I've had lots of requests that I'd given kind of ideas, if you like. Let me just see if I can open this window. No, can't open that curtain. I'd given some ideas on what you could do, but I didn't actually make anything. So I've had a couple of requests. I just wanted to show you a few things very quickly, for, you know, ideas of paper and what you can use if you don't have kits. Or I often get comments, I can't get that book. Okay, you might have a book I can't get, I might have a book you can't get, but there are lots of ways around finding images. For example, I saw somebody show this in a video recently, but it popped up on that right hand side autoplay. I cannot for the life of me remember who it is, but I popped onto Amazon and purchased a couple of these books. Now, this one specifically, if you cannot get floral paper pads or the floral books that we all use, these paper pads are amazing. It's wrapping paper. You tear it out of the book over here. Let me just show you quickly. And it's in 4. It's beautiful paper, absolutely beautiful. It's cream the other side, so you don't have to worry about it being white. So that's one. These are on Amazon. And again, if you're in the UK, finding scrapbooking paper is really difficult. You can buy the paper pads that are slightly a cardstock, but finding paper is not easy, and these are just delicious. There are several of them. I would have bought them all, but you know, I didn't. If you're not worried about shiny paper, Gordon Benningfield is amazing. Okay, his books are beautiful. I've made a couple of things this morning just to show you using this. I don't tend to like shiny paper. I would prefer to go over it with some clear gesso or something like that. But I made this little flippy notebook thing, okay, using one of the pages. And also I made a little insert. I would sew, if I was using this, an insert for a journal, or you could turn it into a little book. I've popped a little tab on there, and all of these bits came from books as well. I have got, what have I got? Stamps. Here we go. Stamps. These. Ooh, that's my punch. Stamps are great. They are easy to get hold of. You can get them from eBay. They are simple. You can take them off your own post. You can ask your friends and family to keep them for you. If you're in the UK, WH Smith sells bags of stamps, old ones, you know, so they're not in use anymore. So you can get stamps through WH Smith's. You don't, you know, they're not just in the post office. So keep your eye out for those. Take them off your post, off your mail. Even the franking mark. You don't need to worry necessarily about the actual stamp itself. Books like this. This is, I think I've shown this book saying, you know, do look through books when you go to your shops, charity shops. Don't just assume they're not going to be suitable. This particular book has loads and loads and loads of pieces in that can be used for ephemera. You can't copy them. You can't, you know, you can't scan them. These books are in copyright. But look at that. Perfect little ephemera pieces that you could pop into a journal or onto a tag. And this one I've shown before as well. I checked today. If you're in the UK, it's definitely available on Amazon. The book starts at £1.67 plus a bit of postage. But this has just the most amazing bits and pieces in that you can use in a journal. There's not many pages where there's not a bit that you couldn't use, and the paper on this is beautiful too. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to make a slide. I'm going to make some slides without a kit, because that seemed to be the one thing that people were most keen on. So I'm running out of pages in this book that don't have pictures on. I'm just going to try, there's one. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. And I'm going to use that one. I know it's pretty. So I'm going to grab my cutter. You don't need a cutter. If you haven't got a cutter, you've got a ruler and scissors. I'm sure you have. Absolutely positive you have got ruler and scissors. This is just a plain Edith Holden page. I'm not measuring anything, so you know, please don't say how big was it, because I'm just doing all of this by eye. Just gonna cut that edge off there. Oh, I really don't like this trimmer. I like the idea of this trimmer, but I don't like this particular trimmer. It does not work for me. Now I'm going to, again, just decide how big I want my slide. Let's say there. And this one, I'm just going to cut off some of that plain at the bottom. There we go. Let's make two. Let's make two. Right. Oh, it's got a bit dark again. It's very difficult. Oh no, can't open the curtain. So I apologise if the lighting is not brilliant, but it's either this or this. They're the two options today that we have. Because I want to use my punch, I'm going to put a little line here. Okay. Here's my punch. That's just roughly the centre of that page. So lining my punch up roughly so that little line is halfway. And there you go. I'm going to cut that out. Now, I'm not going to get a piece of paper and a ruler and cut a square out. I'm going to say I've just cut this square out, and it is 3.5 centimetres by 3.5 centimetres. So if you don't have a punch, take your template once you've made one. Draw around I probably should have done that on the inside. Okay. So far, so good. Now you could use your scissors, but I'm just going to pop a little hole in there with me awl. And you use your scissors to cut it out. Start from the middle. Now there's two options. If you're concerned you can't cut a neat square, I'm going to show you what you could do. I'm kind of having to guess where some of this line is because I didn't draw it very well. Now what you can do is you could fold this back and glue if you want to, if you're not sure you can get a nice neat edge. Okay, so let's do that. Get my metal ruler. I always do it on the good side first. So what I would do is just lift up that, if I can get hold of it, lift up the flap and use the ruler as a guide. Push that fold. I'm going to fold it that way, and then I'm going to fold it that way. I'm just going to trim off some of that, okay, and then you could glue that down and you've got a nice clean edge. Okay, so I'm going to speed it up and do the other flaps. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't matter if your edges are a little bit, you know, not quite perfect, and it doesn't matter if your line is not quite straight. Doesn't matter. It's all good. All good. Right, so I'm going to take my corner punch on this one, and I'm just going to punch these corners out. Now on this one, I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to take my cotton reel, I'm going to just line them up with the edge here and the edge here, and I'm just going to do a little pencil line. So again, for those of you that don't have a corner punch, I'm pretty sure you've got something round that you could find. So I'm just trying to do it without getting my head in the camera. I still haven't had my hair done. Still got the grey. Although I'm quite lucky actually, I'm not that grey for my age. Not as grey as my brothers. They're both younger than me. Just wanted to point that out. Okay. And yep, might take you a bit more time. It might take a little bit more effort, but it can be done without the tool. Most things can be done without tools. Tools and kits, like I said, are just there to make life easier if you want them to. Okay, so this is our punched one. I'm going to ink it. You could use a plain paper and stamp it if you don't want to, and stamp it. That was very Suffolk of me. Actually, I quite like that picture in there myself, but we're going for something different. Okay, so I've already found one and cut it out in this book. I found a photograph which fits in there quite nicely. So I'm going to use that. You can find loads of books, especially books on ancestry and things like that, that will have pictures in. I'm just going to use my slide and go through the book and try and find an image that I quite like. That octopus, but I'm not doing a... No, don't like that. Not in there. That's quite nice, quite like that. Just want to check what's on the other side. Nothing of interest. So I'm going to just put a couple of little lines. So I know I want to cut outside of that. And of course you can use colour. You can use colour images if you've got anything colour. Oh, we've lost our man. Cool. So what I'm going to do is glue the back of these. Don't need a ton of glue because we're going to glue the slide shut, and I'm just going to hold this roughly in place. Whoops, that stuck to my finger. Close it, rub that down, and do the same with our man. But you could of course fussy cut smaller things. You could stamp if you've got some stamps you like to use, and you could do all of this with stamped images. You could actually use a stamp. You could take one of the stamps and use that as an embellishment piece. So if you wanted to rip, so you can add little elements to make your collage if that's what you wanted to do. So this one is our no tools used. We've cut this all by hand. And you know, like I said, your books are going to be different to my books. That doesn't mean my books are better than your books. It doesn't mean your books are better than my books. It just means they're different, and you have to kind of come up with something that works for you and the books and the things that you have. I know a while ago, a long while ago, I made 2 traveller's notebooks, one using kits, one not using kits. Neither of them, you know, they were both lovely. Neither of them were any better than the others. Now, this is if you don't have number labels or anything like that, most people have things like guest checks and tickets and whatever. So, quite like this number here, although it does say check number on it. Do I want it to say check number? Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to cut this out. Ooh. And I'm going to cut this one out. But there are equally you can find numbers in books. I know you can. Page numbers for a start. And obviously if you find a book with big page numbers in, that's pretty cool. Oh, I meant to use my Giotto. I'm so excited about doing that. I want to make some collages just because I've managed to get hold on Amazon the Giotto glue that Rachel uses from Roxy Creations. So I'm really excited about that. It's now on Amazon, and it actually has a sticker on it that says new product. So it's obviously quite new to Amazon UK. Now I've just completely inked that because I didn't want the white. But there you go. Page numbers, book pages, any pages that you've got with numbers on, guest checks, and there we have a couple of slides. They all look absolutely lovely once they're sewn, and these are 2 that I made earlier. So I hope that's given you some ideas on how you can do this without a kit. And obviously all the things can be made without kit. These certainly can, because we've got our little tab here now, little square. So round those corners, tab, ta-da! Let's stick a little stamp on there. Let's do a bit of inking because we can make one. We can make one quick. We can make one quick. And a bit of a torn stamp on a... What else have we got? What else can we use? Let's do some. Let's do one. Have we got a picture? No. Let me see. Here we go. Got a bit of a... I'm going to fold that in half. And just tear. Should we use that as it is? What else could we put on there? Got a piece of scrap. That's quite big, isn't it? This one's quite big. I'm going to just tear a bit off the top and the bottom, and tear a bit off the side. I'm going to ink it. I'm keeping that edge flat because that's what would go against the book. Ink there. Scraps. Look at this. A little piece of embellishment, little tab for your journal, for your tag, for your whatever you're making. Just with a couple of old scrappy bits of stuff. Perfect fit. Perfect fit. Ta-da! There we go. Cluster style tab. With kit, without kit. You can sew it if you want to. I think they're equally as lovely. They're just different, aren't they? But I love it. See? So there we go. Let's call this maybe part 1. I might come back and do other things without kits. Well, I do things without kits all the time, but you know, this is just an actual show and tell. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, and I hope it gives you, you know, just look at your books. Don't get caught up on what other people have. You need to stop. Those of you that do it, stop worrying about what you don't have and look at what you do have. You've got loads of stuff. Even envelopes through the post. Like I said, doesn't have to be purchased all the time. It can be reused stuff. I will see you soon. Take care. Thanks again.